Michael loves Steph Curry. This I know, okay, from enough of a concert. By the way, in this very room, the last time, all-time Mount Rushmore great, Magic Johnson, dared to comment. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Magic. Magic was on with us. Yes, but when Doc Rivers dared to comment on Kawhi Leonard, what happened?
Got fined.
Tampering fine.
Yes.
So if Michael Jordan right there says, put Steph in the Hall of Fame right now, there are people saying, fine him. It's a tamper. It's a stupid rule.
Yes.
Anytime a league puts a muzzle on its greatest assets. So basically right now, because they've been in basketball, Magic until recently, you're saying that Magic can't comment, Larry Bird can't comment, Michael Jordan can't comment on the state of the game and individual players. That's a dumb rule, and they should never have it.
And in the interest of full disclosure, Mike and I have argued with the league officials about this constantly for years.
For years.
We've all had, always had a problem with that rule.
But Michael had a twinkle in his eye. He's not saying that Steph Curry is not a Hall of Famer. He purposely named his dream team guys. And for all the guys who get upset, like our dear friend Jay Will this morning about MJ's 290s, you want to put a team out there that could beat the dream team? I'll take that team against any team Jay Will wants to put together.
Let me say
historically now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You'll appreciate this. So he talks to MJ all the time. Obviously, I talk to MJ frequently, and the position is consistent.
It's consistent.
It's
this
very
is not
consistent.
a surprise.
I mean,
right?
he, and this is MJ, just so y'all know. He's not saying that you're not going to the Hall of Fame. MJ's thing is he don't want to hear a damn thing from people who are still playing.
Finish the process.
Finish the process. His whole thing is don't tail off, don't fall off the map, don't play like garbage for the last 8, 10 years of your career or whatever. No. Keep performing because in his eyes, I'm just being clear, in his eyes, you are not a Hall of Famer until you finish. And until you finish, you don't belong in the conversation of those of us who have. I've told you this many times, Max. I run across Hall of Famers all the time. The number one thing they hold people like me, people like Wilbon and others accountable for is Hall of Famers despise when we crown people and put people on their level and not force them to go through the same process those guys had to go through en route to it. They really have a personal problem with us who do that. And that's what it's about.
I actually think you guys are missing this. Michael Jordan talks with an agenda. He's so insanely defectively competitive, which is why he's the greatest player, one of the reasons he's the greatest player who ever lived, clearly, that he always has an agenda when he talks. Look at this team. It's ridiculous. Magic Johnson clearly is the point guard on any team. It doesn't come – this is it's like distraction. Magic, Steph, yeah, it's Magic. We get it. He's 6'9". He's 5-time champion. He's the greatest point guard who ever lived. What's James Worthy doing on that team? North Carolina teammate. What's Scottie Pippen doing on that team? Chicago Bulls. He took his best teammate from college and his best teammate from the pros. He wasn't going to leave those guys off. And the question was, who does he want to run with, right? The fact is, if you had that team, you wouldn't have Worthy. Even if you didn't want LeBron, you'd have Bird. And you wouldn't have Pippen, you'd have LeBron. Like, there's a better team to put together. The question is, who does he want to play with?
Now, based on what you just said, explain to us what your thought process is when Michael Jordan has been on the record in the past saying he'd take Kobe over LeBron. Explain.
Kobe Bryant is the embodiment of the Michael Jordan ethos. Like, he's basically a clone. And as a clone, he's not quite as good, but he got, like, the whole world was trying to be like Mike. Kobe basically did it. LeBron is, like, to me, the first postmodern player in the sense that he was an MVP-level player who was a wing who said, nope, I'm not going to just try to be like Mike. I'm going to be like Magic and Mike had a baby. You know, I'm going to do my own thing. He was the first guy to eat. He didn't have a problem wearing 23 like Kobe did because he was like, yeah, I can tip my cap to him because I'm not trying to be him. So Jordan, of course, prefers the guy who's trying to be him.
That's what you're saying about LeBron?
What's that? Yes.
That is a lie.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, one of the things that has been religiously held against LeBron James is that he came into the league wearing the same number. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the chosen one, and he talked about what he wanted to be, and he identified Jordan. He only
play like him.
That's not the point. He told you what his objective was, and the only time it changed was when he failed. when he didn't measure up. That is a fact.
Okay, LeBron James
fact.
did not come into the league with Jordan's game.
No,
he didn't
we
come
know
into the
that.
league looking
We
like
know
him,
that.
playing his same position, trying to talk like him at press conferences. He came in doing his own thing. Kobe came in, obviously, having studied the greatest who ever did it, and said, I'm going to be a better version of him. LeBron said, no, I'm going to be a new thing.
No. What LeBron was doing, I'm talking about what he started and the kind of imagery he gave off. And you can chime in here, Michael. That's what he was held accountable for, because he quickly learned what Michael did, what Kobe was trying to do and ultimately did was something he couldn't do because he didn't have that same makeup. I told you for many years, the number one thing, I know that LeBron James is phenomenal and great, but the one thing to be held against him that's undeniable that he still hasn't gotten over as far as I'm concerned is this. He failed so often before he got to that point. I'm talking about mentally. Michael came into the league as a killer. Kobe came into the league as a killer. LeBron had to mature into becoming a killer.
But what you're talking about is the makeup. Let's go back to that.
The makeup.
It's just different. And I don't really, that's why the comparison between, we're going to historically compare LeBron James and Michael Jordan, whether it's championships.
It's not fair,
it isn't. But they are absolutely different. When Michael looked at Kobe from day one, he saw someone who was more similarly suited to follow him in that lineage, from Elgin Baylor to Julius Erving to Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant.
That's right.
LeBron is outside of that. He's a different type of player, a different type of person. And so, to me, looking at that entire dynamic, if you don't take that into account, how different they are, and that LeBron is not in that lineage, then we missed the point of the conversation.
And my point to you is that I totally agree with that. That's an accurate depiction. But initially coming into the league, that's not what he expressed as his intent. And so as a result, what we did is we got caught up in his initial words more so than his game,
but look,
even though his game showed us something different.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.